here we go. Okay, welcome back to more Geekto playing Pathfinder Online. Alright, I just want to do a quick shout out to Jesse, Steven, Tridoc, Snarkleflack, and Fantastic Dimensions for subscribing to my channel in the last day or month since I opened it. Now, after recording my last video, I figured that it might be an idea to go into the spells. I'm not going to go into each spell in great detail, but that the general mechanics for wizards is that there's spells that do damage, a lot of damage. Spells do a little bit of damage with an added effect. Spells that are beneficial, not beneficial, debuffs, crowd control, that sort of thing. And they've divided the wizard spells into two categories. They've divided them into wand spells and staff spells. One is an attack with a staff, one is with a wand. Right now I have a club with some primary and secondary attacks. I have a wand that automatically gives me Eel's Touch through a primary attack. Anything with a white outline is a primary attack. Anything with a black outline is a secondary attack. When you have two weapon fighting, your primary weapon can only use primary attacks, and your offhand weapon for your left hand can only do secondary attacks, which means that there are, 6 slots for any one weapon, but when you're fighting with two weapons, you can only have 3 per weapon, which means if you have a bunch of short sword and long sword abilities, so if you have 3 long sword abilities and 3 short sword abilities with the right slot, you have 1 long sword, 1 short sword equipped, you get them all. If you have a ton of long sword abilities and you equip 2 short swords, you have nothing. And when you go to fill up your bar, you can equip a weapon and then go into your feats pane, say active feats, and then drag what you have onto the bar. A lot of feats are tied to items. You need trophies for a lot of fighter attacks, rogue implements for rogue abilities. I need a staff and a wand. I have a wand. I also need a staff for the different types of abilities for wizard. There's melee, there's ranged. A lot of magic is ranged, but like Eel's Touch, some of it is melee range, but it does do damage and distresses the person. I'd like to get a staff. I don't know where to get one yet, but I can do the abilities. Now, there's things like crowd control, area of effect, buff, debuff, utility, that sort of thing. Just glancing over these, most of these look just damage with more or less effects. By the name of it, some of them don't exist in Pathfinder, the role-playing game, but some of them, like Shadow Blast, Staff Attack, it does force damage, Long Blast from far away, it provokes opportunity on my character when I get it, it targets their will, so they have to roll their will, and the things against detrimental effects like distress, debuffs, magic, whatever, anything that's an effect instead of just damage, use your will stat for mind-affecting effects, reflex for movement-based effects or area of effect spells, and fortitude for diseases, sicknesses, and a lot of debuffs that are trying to physically harm you, negative energy, Eel's Touch, that kind of thing. Sonic Thrust, that's a new one. Knockback, 10 meters. Targets fortitude, oblivious 30, I think that's a timer, if it disrupts something they're doing. True Strike gives the effect striking to self. True Strike is one of those buffs in that your next attack you use after using True Strike will be really good. And it could have a more likely chance of critical as well, and more likely to hit. Wilting Surge sounds like a debuff. Negative damage, stun for 2 seconds to all within the area of effect. Now, a lot of these say provokes opportunity and stationary. Stationary means in order to complete the effect, you have to stay put. This is the case for shooting with a bow, as well as a lot of magic. And provoking opportunity means that the act of casting this spell would give opportunity on me, which means think creatures in melee with me get a freebie attack that is, or at least, sorry, I'm not sure about the freebie attack, but while you're under the state of opportunity, anyone melee attacking you has a greater chance to hit, greater chance to do more damage, and a greater chance to do critical, which does even more damage. So, all these fun things means that, opportunity, opportunity, you're doing it at a distance, with as much distance as possible. Though there are some spells in the role-playing game where you can just drop a nice big fat fireball at your feet, you're not hurt, and everything else around you is. I don't know how that works with players on your same team, though. I will have to find that out, and soon, because I don't want to blow up future party members. Alright, Plague Storm, Fortitude, Afflicted, all targets that are disrupted become afflicted. Okay, I can tell some of these chain together. Definitely, but I'd like to get some kind of primary wand. Boiling Blood targets Fortitude, fire damage. Bright Rune targets Fortitude, fire damage, Oblivious, Staff, Explosive Rune Staff, Force Hail Staff, Frost Ray, Wand. Oh, Frost Ray's wand. Targets Reflex, ranged, sure. And I may have accumulated a few more experience points than I did before, so I can get a ton of spells now. I don't want to buy the staff abilities until I actually get a staff. Hopefully there's one around here somewhere, though the first hexes, you can barely see the hex lines. But that first row of hexes, so you can barely see in this area of the map because of the way they painted it, that first row tends to be full of bandits and goblins and things that a lone first level or 0th level character can easily take out, including the other character I have that is mostly just gathering and knowledge abilities. And knowledge abilities bump up gathering, though I'm not sure how much effect it actually has at this point, especially with just one level like what this character has. But the first hex is relatively easy to deal with. And there are items dropped all the time by monsters, including money and the introductory holy symbol, the steel bodkin arrows I crafted earlier, the lesser token of striking. You know what, I'll put that on my paper doll, because I have wondrous items go here, boots go here. This is where the implement for class, for the skill trees and the secondary implement goes, like the holy symbol. My wand goes here. It's my secondary weapon. Alright. These two big dots, they're the primary and weapon and offhand weapon, and then your secondary weapon set is the two smaller dots. But because I both have only one, the two weapons I have, the wand and the club, cannot be added together in one effect. It has to be two melee weapons or two of the same sort of thing. And the thing about staff, because it requires two hands, the bow requires two hands, and it means it would be alone in its pair. Here, that's where the reactionary feats go, magic items go here, the armor slot, and my body item, which right now is peasant clothes. I can replace it with cloth armor because I'm going to be playing a wizard. Anyone that has any experience with the Pathfinder, schools know that certain stats and certain classes do better with the three different types of armor. Light, medium, and heavy. Heavy being fighters and paladins, light being bards and rogues, and medium being things like some druids, some rangers, and wizards being just clothes. So I have an organic keyword there. What are the armor keywords for this one? Matched armor keyword. Knowledge is clothing. Okay. The only keyword for this armor is clothing, though I think with a higher tiered wizard armor scholar slot will have more keywords. The higher tiered items tend to have a lot more keywords, and the more keywords that match, the more these bonuses go up. All these nice little bonuses around here. Class feature goes here. I don't have that yet, but I believe the school specialization goes there, and I will be specializing in a school because generalists get punished for not having key specializing abilities that have their own keywords and their own abilities, and I'm better off. And after what Jimmy said, I'm going to go to the bank, maybe see if I can get some low-level clothing later and drop those copper coins in there, though with 34 copper coins to my name, I'm probably not going to be able to buy anything yet. So, I have Frost Ray. So what other primary are there? Frost Ray. That way I have ice, damage, distress, Electric damage, distress. Okay, and quick frost is staff. Shadow blast staff. Wand. More distress, physical damage, proven reflex. Throwing my eggs in one basket, and how about something that's glove? True strike goes with the glove slot. I don't have any glove items in my inventory. Alright, that's it for primary. So how about secondary? Fire damage, short blast, and burning, reflex, staff, wand, reflex. They're doubling that. Target's reflex, knockdown if target has unbalance, slowed it if target has unbalance. Oh, it's two separate effects if target has unbalance. Wind Riders, like Gust of Wind, it knocks them to the ground. That could be useful for slowing them to get to me, so how about that? Wilting Surge is staff, Sonic Thrust is wand, Fortitude. They become oblivious if I disrupt them. I want to disrupt them. Scroll back up and get one more secondary one ability. Staff. Yeah, I have the XP to get a lot of the staff abilities that I want, but I really want to have a staff in hand before I actually start spending the skills. It's the same thing with, like, I could go and get some bow skills, but until I actually get my hands on a bow, I don't want to bother. I don't want to shop for abilities that I might use. I want abilities I can use right now because I cannot undo these once they are done. And there's no more. So Sonic Thrust goes to secondary, Wind Rider goes here. My lesser token is here, striking. Better to hit, though, you know, it's probably not extremely useful. And now I'm gonna head back to the trainer about run. What school do I want? Well, what school specialization do I want? I've already kind of gone over the basics of what they do, though there is a lot of overlap, and there's some where there's elements that have elemental keywords that are repeated throughout some of them. But what do I want? I want a witch that... Witch is usually buff, debuff, enchantment. So not transmuter. Necromancer, Illusionist. Psychic negative, nope. Evoker, the keywords are... Fire, cold, and force. Evoker is big on elements, blown up. Psychic Sonic, maybe. Conjure, physical acid, and amateur is horse holy. Where's my paper doll? Wand, does it have any keywords? Arcane, volatile, direct, explosive. So, no. It does not match any keywords for the classification, and I believe, though, these special bronze symbols go here for class feature. Most likely, enchanters, mind affecting, psychic sonic, conjures, physical acid. They're the ones that summon critters to fight for them. Enchanter get monsters to fight for them. I like the idea of going enchanter. Illusion, yeah. I can train in multiples of these, but I choose not to. And what do I need for one? Arcane. I need 3 achievements in Arcane. Alright, I am first level. Oh yeah, this is... No. That isn't the... I forget where the spellbook implement is. It's... Okay, I have spellbook implement proficiency 1, but I don't have a spellbook. Though I can find it. And... Where is... What was I doing? Yeah, looking at my feats. Active feats. Passive feats. Enchanter. Yep, right here. Class features. Thought so. Enchanter. Mind affecting. Oh yeah. I think there are there's some, you know, it's like Evoker is very much the area of effect elemental damage spells, but there are some that are protective and utilitarian. There's a lot of overlap with the classes. It's just that if you, like I said in my last video, if you want to blow things up with lots of fire, go Evoker. Enchanter's more like the creepy, mind-affecting one, and Necromancer's the creepy, undead one. And Enchanter's more creepy in just that when you get down to into the meta of what the spells can do in the role-playing game, it can get kind of like you're doing what with his mind. Eh. And there's others where the the Enchanter. Yes, the Enchanter also has a lot of, oh, see this magic item? Now it's a better magic item. See this non-magic item? Now it's a magic weapon. Though I don't know how much of that there's going to be here because I didn't see many class skills that were affecting to that. So, next sort of business is to go back into the wilds and kill some bandits and get some items. This is Geekto Plays, episode 4 of Pathfinder Online. Thanks for subscribing, guys. Thanks for paying attention. I will see you guys real soon.